Oh, this lesson is over percent. Percent greater than 100%. So let's look at our number routine. How do you know? 35% is equivalent to 7/20th, which is equivalent to 35 hundredths. Is this true? Well, let's get my calligraphy pen, my third pen. So 35%. What is a percent again? A percent means per 100. How would I write that as a decimal? 0 and 35 hundredths. So check mark. This is equivalent to this. But is it equivalent to 7/20th? Many ways you can do this. You can turn 7/20 into a decimal, or you can build this up to a per 100. How do you build 20 to 100? Times 5. Times 5. So 7 times 5 is 35 hundredths. So they are all, which is 35%. So they are all equivalent to each other. So in this one, it says, show me what 35% looks like. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. Show me 35%. So this is what it looks like. What is the fraction equivalency of it? It is 35 hundredths. And how would you write this as a decimal? 35 hundredths. Show me 90%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, and 90%. So the fraction equivalency is 90 hundredths. And the decimal equivalency is 90 hundredths. Show me 5 hundredths. 1 hundredths, 2 hundredths, 3 hundredths, 4 hundredths, 5 hundredths. So how would you write that as a fraction equivalent? 5 hundredths. And what percent is that? 5%. Because this is 5 of the 100, or 5%. Show me 45 hundredths. 10 hundredths, 20 hundredths, 30 hundredths, 40 hundredths, 41 hundredths, 42 hundredths, 43 hundredths, 44 hundredths, 45 hundredths. What is fraction equivalence? 45 hundredths. And percent would be 45%. Now, show me 100%. Done. What is the fraction equivalent? Isn't that just 1 whole? And what is the decimal equivalency? 1 whole. So a fraction equivalent could be, it's 100 out of 100, which is just 1 whole, or 1. Now let's get this a little harder. Show me 140%. So this is 140%, because this is 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. So what is the fraction? So it's 140 out of hundreds. And what would the decimal equivalent be? 1 whole and 4 tenths. 1 and 4 tenths. So 140% can be written as 1 and 4 tenths, or 1 and 40 hundredths, and that is the equivalent to 140%. Show me 200%. 100%, 200%. So what is the fraction? Is 200 per 100, or 2 is the decimal equivalency. And last but not least, show me 300%. 100%, 200%, 300%. So this would be 300 per 100, or 3 whole. So now that we kind of got that, let's answer this question. In a class of 25 students, 9 students believe that I will one day quit my teaching job for my true love, Lucy Liu. Complete the table. So what fraction believes this? 9 out of 25. Can I build this to a percent per 100? How will I build this to per 100? I multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. So the fraction equivalency is 36 hundredths, or the decimal equivalent is 36 hundredths, and the percent is equivalent is 36%. What percent and decimal do not believe this fact for fiction? I'm sad about that. So we know 100% is 100%. If we subtract 36%, it would be 64%, or 64 hundredths do not believe this story. So if you're at Katie Mills Mall, you're looking for a Thanksgiving outfit. The sign above the clearance rack says take 20% off. Complete the table. So the fraction would be, well, we know it's 20%. So percent means what? 20 per 100. So how would you write that as a decimal? 20 hundredths. And for this one, how would you write 2%? 2%. The fraction equivalency is 2 hundredths. And the decimal would be 2 hundredths. So in this Act 1, I would like you now to, taking what we just learned with the other model, shade 45%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 45%. So what is this? What percent is it? 45%. What is this decimal equivalency? 45 hundredths. And what is this fraction? 45 hundredths. Shade 145%. So it'll be 10, 20. So it'll be all of this. That's 100%. And then 45, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. So what percent is that? 145%. What is this fraction? 145 hundredths. And what decimal do I see here? 1 and 45 hundredths. So now that we got that, a percent greater than 100% equals a number greater than 1. To convert a percent into a decimal, you write the percent as per 100. For example, if you have 125%, it's per 100, or 125 per 100. Now, you have to turn this into a decimal. Can you turn this fraction into a decimal by dividing 125 by 100? You get 1 and 25 hundredths. So in Kilroy's website business, it increased every year for the last 3 years. Find the equivalence for the second year. The second year is here. What percent is that? 115%. So what fraction would that be? 115 per 100. And how would you write that as a decimal? Can 100 go 115? One time. So the decimal is 1 and 15 hundredths. Let's look at another example. Berto got a puppy 8 weeks ago. In this time, the puppy's weight increased 215%. Express this percent as a decimal and as a fraction. So the percent is 215%. Write this as a fraction. This is 215 per 100. And can 100 go into 200? It goes in 2 times 2 and 15 hundredths. But what now if we are given a mixed number or fraction? Can you tell me what percent it is? For example, if you have the mixed number of 2 and 3/5, how would you write this as an improper fraction? 5 times 2 is 10. 3 more is 13/5. Now, how do you write this 13/5 as a percent? How can you build this up to 100%? Times 20. So 13 times 20 is 260, or 260%. So Jasa expects her new software company to express its sales next year 2 3/4 times. Complete the table. What would this be as an improper fraction? It would be 11/4. So how can I build this up to a percent, which is per 100? How can I build this up to 100? I multiply by the scale factor of 25. 11 times 25 is 275 hundredths, or 275%. What would that be as a decimal? 100 goes in 275 two times. What do you have left over? 75. 2 75 hundredths. And that is our decimal equivalent. And a last question. Paul noticed his pet fish had a weight gain of 1 3/20 times his previous weight. Complete the table. So what would this be as an improper fraction? It would be 23/20. A percent, again, is per 100. So can you build us up to 100? That's times 5. That would be 115 hundredths, or 115%. What is the decimal equivalency? 100 goes to 115 one time. You have 15 left over out of 100, so it's 1 15 hundredths. So from what you learn in this one, if it's more than 100%, it's always going to be a whole number and a decimal. Like 200% would be 2 whole. 300% would be 3 whole. So if it's like 275%, it'd be between 2 and 3, or 2 75 hundredths. So this is lesson over percents greater than 100%.